Help support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J. Our next guest is here. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Hello. Pretty good. Can you hear me fine?
Absolutely. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me.
Hi, I'm Doug from Albi Home. And what we do is we create a wine experience that's bringing it into the 21st century.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Well, we do this with our technology. We created an Albi Home unit, which is about the size of a coffee machine. And what this does is it's compatible with our smart bag technology that tracks your wine from point of origin to point of destination. It's pretty advanced stuff. So sorry for getting into technicals right off of the bat, but basically what it does is we have these double-plied bags which go from origin to destination, and it has an NFC chip. And there it tracks to make sure that you're not getting any of the UVA rays, UVB rays, anything like that that could be contaminated. And then it communicates with our Albi Home unit, which can read the NFC chip. It will know what type of wine you have in the bag, and it will communicate with our interactive display.
Okay, so there sounds like there's a couple of pieces to the system. You've got your bag, which is designed for protecting and detecting through the transport process.
That's correct, or even through your home or your cantina or your cellar if you have it at your home or within the shop.
Okay, so if it's it could be in a store in this bag, protecting it from sun rays and things like that might be harming the product. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but a little bit more than that. So really what happens is, this is a brainchild of an Italian product. So what we're doing is we're bringing Italian luxury to America, and we're recreating a wine experience. So if you go to a cantina, for example, in Chianti, and the wine that you're sampling there is not quite the same thing that you would be buying here in America. So part of the logistics process is getting exposed to heat, cold elements that might end up compromising the integrity of the wine. So really what happens is from the shipping process, it lets you know anywhere in the supply chain if there's damage, and it protects it from there. But when it actually arrives to you and when you get it home, it communicates with this device. You could either buy it in the bag, or you could even just buy a bottle and insert it in the bag. And the coolest portion of this is it extends the longevity of the wine itself. So right now, wine, I'd say your average American says it's good for about a week or two, but most Europeans would say, hey, it becomes vinegar after 24 to 48 hours. What we do with our process and our system is we extend the life of it for up to 6 months.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a massive change.
Yeah. Yep. So it's pretty cool because it perfectly preserves it. It gives you that perfect pour as though you were in Chianti or if you were at the cantina. So one of the biggest problems in the wine sector right now is waste. If I have a glass of wine by myself, I might be more likely to use a lower quality wine because I don't want to waste what I have in there. But now if I have, some premium wine that I want to share with my friends, or I don't want to waste the whole entire thing, I can actually preserve it with our system. So on the business to consumer application, you could have your own personal wine cellar, whatever you want, have a longevity with that great wines. You could sample them. Or if you're on the business aspect, let's say a restaurant, now you have unlimited access to your inventory, where you normally kind of sell maybe the more economical wines by the glass.
Understood, because it lasts longer once it's started than it would normally by significantly.
Exactly.
Okay, so you could do a by the glass on a more luxury product than at a restaurant without the concern that by tomorrow it's not the luxury product that it was yesterday.
Exactly. So you could have that for a much longer time, much longer timetable, which is just not out there on this scale right now.
Gotcha. So where did this idea come from?
So this was the brainchild of my two partners who are engineers by heart and also wine lovers. They saw some of the problems that were in the wine industry. So, it really began over a glass of wine over dinner and just noticing that it didn't get chilled to the right temperature. And engineers by nature are curious and saying, well, how can we solve this problem? So it went from going from, temperature to logistics to, this whole entire creation, which we have now.
Yeah, because once you start pulling at that thread, you start finding all kinds of problems you didn't know existed.
Exactly.
That is the nature of being an engineer.
Exactly. One of the other cool functions of this is it's a green system. So it's about 40% greener than what's on there now. Glass bottles, they've been around for forever and they can be great, but they're heavy, they're fragile. Our smart bag systems are durable. They can withstand, like I said, the shock earlier, but they're also much lighter and, they're much more lightweight. They're easier to transport and ship. You don't have to have the awkward shape of the bottle. They're more you can format them with the shipping containers. So that, completely eases that problem as well as if you just have some in your own wine, cellar in your basement, you could store them a lot more. You could put them on top of the fridge. You can have them in a cabinet. It solves that problem from the industrial to the personal scale as well.
And of course, bags ship and store more evenly and more more usefully than a strangely shaped bottle.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So what is the availability of this system? Where are we in production on this?
So we're expecting it to hit the market in September. We were planning on having distribution earlier than that, but obviously with COVID, unfortunately,
Yep.
And Italy, it was the heart of Europe as far as COVID when that broke out last year. So we did have some, but we're expecting it to be on the market come September timeframe.
Okay, and I imagine you're in talks with producers to implement this system.
So that's one of the coolest things about it. Yeah, we have letters of interest, and we've been working with cantinas all over Italy and Europe now. But we're also having more outreach from other countries such as Israel, South America. A lot of Latin American countries where you're seeing a resurgence. Even in America, we're seeing a huge growth of wine among young people. So one of the cool things about that as well is we're seeing more refined taste, but sometimes people are intimidated by it. For those of us who aren't maybe so young, you kind of think of Frasier or shows like that where it's a little bit more of uppity or upper class, but we're seeing a lot of people experiment. So one of the cool things about this is it could also communicate with Google or Google Home or Alexa. And let's say you're cooking something, you could say, well, what do I have in my cantina that can pair with this? What's good with this? You'll get some specific recommendations.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool. So it has the ability to help with recommendations and things on top of protecting, adding longevity, and I believe creating a perfect pour. I think I read that somewhere in in your
that's
brief.
The experience. Yeah, that's the experience we're really going for, is the perfect pour, and to turn people who might be curious about wine into connoisseurs, and helping the connoisseurs or people who are more advanced in their their wine love, their wine level, because for some people it's a lifestyle, and really just bring that to the next level from everything in between.
Gotcha. Very cool. And so if people want more information about this, maybe to get notifications when you're ready to go live, how can they do that?
It's right on our website, which is albicchiere.com. It's a lot easier to pronounce than spell out, but we could have links attached to our website, and we're right on CES where you have all the information as well.
Very cool. Well, I really appreciate you talking about this. This is a fascinating place to be, because like you said, we're seeing in the US, we're seeing a resurgence. I read a study maybe a year or two ago that showed that wine was overtaking beer with younger consumers.
Exactly. I mean, the global market alone it's I think projected to be 423 billion, something like that annually. And it's massive and continuing to grow, it's pretty cool. And it's pretty exciting to be part of that.
Yeah, it's a good place to be right now.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm a South Buffalo guy. My town is, at least my section was, very beer, very whiskey traditional. So when I first started, sampling wine or going over there, going over to Italy, it's like, okay, let me see what this is about. And it was an acquired taste, but now it's just, it's amazing. And I'm seeing a lot of, younger people say kind of similar comments like, okay, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I hear it fairly frequently. So yeah, it's definitely a change in the culture.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks for talking, and hopefully you'll have a good rest of your CES and a good product launch.
Great. Thank you so very much. And I appreciate your time and wishing you the best with your continued CES success.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that interview, and if you did, make sure you check out some of the more than 100 interviews we conducted during the virtual CES 2021 coverage. And of course, subscribe here on YouTube, hit the notification bell to learn when we post new content and when we go live.